well. Oh, wow. This is Seth here, spiritual and business. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's put Lucifer on chill mode for a second. Speaking of which, so this is Lucifer. What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, this is Seth here, spiritual and business consultant. You know, um, so hey, man. So like I said, so now it's already started. It already started. We have, Sa just said he basically threw threw him under the bus. He threw Polite under the bus, which is fine by me. I don't care. I really don't care. Which also sadly means that he did do the. But anyway, I haven't had the news from the court processes, but yeah, I haven't had the news from the court processes. I still didn't have any news from Unknown Seven, but it already started. The downfall already started. It started a long time ago, but it's continuing on, like I said it would. Um, so Cyanide threw Polite under the bus here, so he's not effing with Polite anymore, which is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, dude. So, and this is breaking news. This just happened. So, of course, there's gonna be other things going on. There's gonna be other things going on, dude. There's gonna be other things going on, and like I said before, so now, some of my old school. This is really sad. This is really sad. Some of my old school people that used to listen to me at the beginning of last year, when I first started out my channel, I made two documentaries called The Importance of Layers. A lot of you people loved it. I had hundreds of views on it. A lot of people liked those. Probably, I think I probably had like almost 1,000 or 1,000 each for both of them or something. So people really like that one. And the sad part is when I closed down my YouTube channel, I left the two videos, Importance of Layers, on it. So my original YouTube channel was not supposed to be completely shut down. So I don't know what happened. I just I left those two there on purpose because I knew people. It was okay to me to leave these two there because it wasn't like I wasn't like giving out a bunch of secrets and stuff like that, right? As I usually do. I wasn't airing out the. Well, I was maybe a little bit airing out the Illuminati, but it wasn't that bad. It was talking about quantum computers and all those things, and I left that there. And when I came to check my channel, it wasn't there anymore. I still have one of the 1 hour documentary. Um, I don't know if it's part one or part two. Um, I guess I'll re-upload it. You guys are probably gonna enjoy it, but if it's part one and it's not part two, you're probably not gonna understand everything. And it's not a really a documentary. It's more like a podcast. And the side part thing is, I have like Dolo that's talking about the importance of layers as I speak right now on his channel, on his live. You know, talking about heaven and hell, talking about you're doing this to yourself and blah 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 blah. Whatever, man. So it's kind of sad, it's kind of sad, because the guy, oh no, I have both. No, no, yeah, no, I have part one and part two. No, no, I don't. No, I only have one part. I have part one. I don't have part two. So I have that's part two, not part one, actually. Oh no 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 no! It's right here. Yeah, no, yep. So I have okay. So I have part one and part two. So that's fine. So I'll re-upload it. I'll re-upload it on a on my channel, so you guys can enjoy it. You know, I know it was very liked by a lot of people, and you know, I don't know why exactly that one was so interesting to people. I guess it correlates with dimensions and things that matter, a subject that I recently got that I have found some liking to. So I guess that's why we had importance of layers. Okay, so now I'm confused because I see importance of layers here, but that's part one. But there's another video that looks like part two. There's two videos that looks like part two, so I don't know. I'll have to listen to it again. Anyway, but at least there's part one. Um, so it's sad, man. Guys are like, dudes are like taking your content, taking your style, and everybody knows it. Even you guys know it. Even you guys see it. The people that's on my channel, you guys see it too. A lot of people click on my channel and then they, you know, they listen to my stuff and they don't subscribe. They don't leave a like. Nothing. And the worst part is, like I said before, you're probably thinking about yourself when you do that, but me, I'm a real targeted individual, mind you, right? I'm a real targeted individual. So you're basically leaving me high and dry while YouTube is suppressing my videos and my live streams. So it's not even, I can't even, so even if you're tired of just watching videos and you would like to interact with me, you're not gonna know when I'm on live. Sorry, I grabbed you by the Hibberts there. I grabbed you by the Hibberts. It's true. But it's still the truth, man. Like, if you just leave my channel and don't subscribe and shit, right? You know, you don't leave a like and you don't subscribe. You left me hanging in the wind, dude. So that ain't cool, man. And on top of that, you got other people copying me. You got other people copying my style. You got other people copying my content. You know, and they're free to do basically all that stuff because YouTube is helping them take advantage of the style and the content. And you, just to add injury to insult, you watch my video and then you go do something else and you forget to subscribe or you forget to like. So I'm sitting here like a sitting duck, like the other guy said the other day on the targeted individual video. So I'm sitting here like a sitting duck, bro, and like what's going on here? So sorry for grabbing you by the Hibberts, but it's true, man. I don't mean to do that, but it's true because this is important. This is going on. This is happening. Whether people don't want to admit it or not, this is fucking happening. This is fucking for real. And I understand the difficulty to accept this because I'm basically living proof of whatever everything people told you is a bold-faced lie. And that's not a easy pill to swallow. It's not an easy pill to swallow, bro, because you're you know, you've invested so much time into something and you invested so much of yourself into that thing, and now somebody comes around with a fucking bulldozer and just trashes the whole fucking thing. You know, like it ain't fun. I know how it feels, trust me. But the thing is, the reason why I'm taking it lightly is because I'm also used to having people run a fucking bulldozer through my things. It happened so many times that now it's just funny to me. Shit, if it happens again, I'm just gonna laugh. Like I'm not even gonna be mad. I'm like, man, shit, that's some funny shit. Look at that. That's how much it happened to me, bro. Like I'm used to being disappointed. You know, as much as I don't like being disappointed, I'm used to being disappointed, bro. And you know, it's sad. Some sad shit. Like I'm disappointed right now. I mean, I go on this guy's channel and he's talking about some of my content. Why do you talk about your content? Your content is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Whatever. Anyway, your career is over, but I don't see what the point of talking about my shit is. You know. Anyway, sorry for the compliment. I didn't mean it. You know, it is. You know, it's just astrology. I don't care. I don't talk about astrology. I don't talk about. I talk very little, very like a tiny bit of astrology, bro. Because it is kind of important. You got to know where you come from. You got to know where you come from. So you know, so it's a little bit important. So I don't know why you would talk about my shit. Just talk about your shit, dude. Don't talk about my shit, man. But anyway, I kind of feel it because, like I said, your career's over. You know, there's one way or another, your career's over, man. You messed it all up, bro. You did it to yourself. Because, like I said before, you could have you. That's the worst part. Like he's still relying on other people because he could like not switch on a dime, but he could like not go towards that kind of act. Like he's still relying. We know that you're a quack. Like we know you're a hack, bro. Like we know you're a hack, dude. Like you not. We know. So just for the remainder of the time you have left, just keep talking about your astrology shit. Like talking about my content is not gonna help you. You know, this is copyrighted. YouTube is copyrighted. You can't, you know, unless YouTube decides to like make my channel disappear, you can't just steal my shit. You know, like this is copyrighted stuff. You can't just, you know, it's I could legit sue you for all this, like, you know, like I could legit sue you, bro. Like so anyways, man. Um but like I said, he's still relying on things that's not gonna happen. He's still relying on things that's not gonna happen. You know. But I'm just saying they could if they wanted to. That's all I'm saying. If you know, it's messed up. You know, it's really messed up. Like if they do that, and I wouldn't be surprised, it would be some pretty messed up shit. Like you know, you know, it'd be pretty messed up shit. You know, so but they could do it. But I don't think it's gonna happen because I don't think they're gonna go that far for you, especially if you are legit messing yourself up because you could like be real, right? As of this moment you could try to be real. And what I mean by being real is not, you know, changing your whole platform and shit. It's like address people, like talk to people, but you don't ever talk to people, man. You don't ever talk to people, bro. Like what's going on here? Ever. You just keep going on your thing and you rely on other people that got your back. Like that's you're not gonna last long. So I would talk a little bit about layers, but I don't know. Like I said, this content is hard. Like my content is not for people with weak hearts. It's pretty harsh. It's pretty hard stuff. So it's pretty hardcore. It's hard and it's hardcore. It's not easy to admit to yourself, because the thing is, I'm not that crazy. Like I know it's not just like, oh, everybody hates me and stuff and blah blah blah. I know that there's like um there's this job that I have to do, right? Like I have to drill you until you understand it, because I know you understand it. It's just it's too hard to accept it, right? So I get it. So when I grab you by the hibberts, don't don't take it personal. Don't take it personal when I grab you by the hibberts, dude. Um, it's sad. It is. It is. It's pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up. This guy's talking about layers, and So you're gonna have the full details of the importance of layers pretty soon. Probably around the same time I pulled this video up. It's a good. I did a good job. I did a good job. I'm not gonna lie. It's interesting. You know, I just don't understand why that one had the most views, because I was like, well, there's other things that are good too. But anyway, it happens. It's like everybody watches there's like I have other videos where I talk about Dolo, and that's the problem. Like, there's other videos more important than that video precisely. Like, there's other videos where I'm exposing Dolo, and people are stuck on the video that's like 2 minutes 30 seconds, 31 seconds, right? Or 5 minutes. I don't remember. It's around 5 minutes. It's just a warning, and like everybody's watching that one and they're commenting on that one. Like, what the fuck? What is what's going on? But the thing is, I'm not mad, because everybody that watches that video watches my other videos. That's along with that, right? But like one of the videos that are on here exposing Dolo, that's exposing Dolo. It's is basically worse. It's like 10 times worse. That one, everybody's watching it, but they're all saying, "Yo, don't get mad." I don't get mad all the time, bro. Like, like, what are you doing? Like, this is not important right now, bro. Like, what other video that's pretty good to watch if you don't like Dolo? Like, Avoid the Noid should have a lot more views, because there's a lot of conspiracy theorists. People always think that they're crazy for their crazy conspiracies, right? But Avoid the Noid is a pretty good video where I explain in detail how sometimes you're like, oh, you're watching a Domino's commercial, and you feel like the thing in the Domino's commercial the thing in the Domino's commercial is like, yo, that's me, bro. Like, and you start going crazy because you're like, yo, this is legit talking about me, man. This is not a Domino's commercial. And I'm like, and there's a lot of people that feel like that, and for good reasons, because it happens more often than you think. The world is small. The world is small, and people think like nobody's watching them. People think like nobody cares about them. People think like unfortunately, like, if people knew how much people were looking at you, like, let's say you knew how much people was actually looking at you, you would never feel lonely ever again, which means that you would probably not feel like suicide. You would not feel like killing yourself. Like, a person like Dolo, like, he doesn't mind dying, kind of. Like, he's suicidal. Like, he doesn't, like, he trusts the Illuminati, obviously, but there's not just one form of dying. You can also kill like your inner self, and this guy obviously killed his inner self. Like he's basically a zombie right now, bro. He's not even conscious. So that's kind of messed up. So like avoid the Noid. I'm not saying avoid the Noid is like suicide prevention, but it kind of is. And there's not enough people checking out that video, and there's not enough people talking about it too. Because it's there's something there, bro. Like, so that's a good video right there. And what else? Where's the other video where I expose Dolo? There's videos I haven't even like I recorded some videos and they're still on my channel and they're not even out yet, They're not even out yet, dude. Like I'm still thinking about like should I not, should I not. Get some Terry Joel Jr. shit. Terry Joel Jr. Like I have a good amount of videos that Terry Joel Jr. Disney Channel video, the Disney Channel video. That's so yeah. He strikes again. He strikes again. He strikes again. People should watch that. The hashtag is Flight Boss. The self-reflector spirit. That's another video. People watched it. A lot of people watched it, but there's no comments. I thought it was fucking hilarious, bro. Fucking self-reflector demons, bro. That shit was freaking hilarious, man. I think that was where that was hilarious, bro. Cause something happened, like like that was in the beginning when weird stuff was starting to happen, when I was starting to expose him, and weird stuff was starting to happen. So I replied back with some weird stuff of myself, but I didn't expect him. The reason why I find it funny is that it's not. I wasn't like reflecting what he was doing to me, bro. So like I wake up one day and I go check out his channel to see if he's still talking ish, bro. And he's like talking about like self-reflector demons and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is that? What the hell is a self-reflector demon, man? Like, what the heck is that? Anyway, so like I was, so that one to me, I hold it dear to my heart because that shit was hilarious, man. And there's another one like Foster the People. That's another video that I made, Foster the People, and I called it Foster the People because like he pretends like to be. You can't serve two masters, right? You can't be of God and be sexual at the same time. I mean, apparently you can, but you can't. You can't express it. You can't verbalize it. From my experience, you can't verbalize it. And if you are sexual, you have to find a way to, fix that problem, right? So you can't really go out and start, acting all like your name is Prince or something. And in that video, he made a song talking about witchcraft and sexuality and shit, So I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, and how can you make a video that explicit? How can you make a song that explicit and say that you're doing God's work and stuff and blah blah blah? Anyway. It's like I said, you can be a little bit, sexualized because sexuality is normal, but you can't really do that, and it has to be pure, You know, from my understanding, it has to be pure. Right now, I have a different understanding about it, you know, which I still think it needs to be pure in some sort. But the difference between now and then is, you know, I don't feel bad about having sex, you know, like like I don't feel like giving myself lashes is, you know, when whatever, right? So that's another video that was pretty good. I had a couple views on that one, and that definitely exposes him. Like the guy's wearing like a priest outfit. Like it doesn't even make sense. It's like he looks like a voodoo priest or something, man. You know, and and yes, I said sexuality should have a form of purity. I said a form of purity. I didn't tell you what kind of purity, and I'm gonna tell you here because that's not the kind of content that I want to talk about right now. So if you want to know more about it, go on my website, make yourself an account. It's $50 a month, and I can life coach you on everything from relationship to spirituality to life coaching, business, and all. Sorry for the shameless self promotion there, but I had to do it. And you know, and man, there's other things too, you know. So those were like my first videos talking about him. I have other videos. I have like 100 videos on my other channel, you know, at Concept Seth. I think I put the link in the description. I'm not sure. I probably didn't, but I probably should. Anyway, you know, so I have a lot of videos. I have a lot of interesting things on here, man. You know, ooh, BLM, talking about like black and blue flag, the black and blue flag. Like I watched the video, right? And it was like a video talking about you know, how cops, you know, abusing their power and stuff like that, right? So there's this guy, right? He's standing in front of the mayor's house, right? And the mayor has a black and blue flag. I don't know what a black, well, it's not a black and blue flag. It's a black flag with a blue stripe in the middle, right? I didn't know what it was at first. I was like, what the heck is that, right? And I was like almost totally on board with the guy that was filming the flag, because I'm like, he's right. What is that? I don't even know what that is. Is that like what is is that like a war thing? Is that like, you know, are they preparing to put us in FEMA camps or something? I mean, what is that, right? So I'm like, okay, so this is weird. So there's a cop that come by. The cop knows the guy, so he's talking to the cop, and the cop is like, you can't really sit here and film this, man. And the mayor called us because he said somebody's in front of his house harassing him, right? So the cops come around, and you know, so they start asking him. Bro, you know, what are you doing? You know, and he's like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting there, you know, recording the flag. And he's like talking about like, oh, the flag is it's altered. You can't alter the flag depending according to the Declaration of Independence, according to the Constitution, you can't do that, right? You can't alter the flag. It's unconstitutional. So I'm like, okay, he got a point. He got a point. But there's one little detail in the thing is, you know, he's not standing on the sidewalk. He's standing on the trespass, right? You know, there's like streets, or there's 2 lanes, or there's 4 lanes, but there's a patch of there's a patch of grass and trees in the middle of the 4 lanes. So he's standing there, right? So I'm like, okay, the cop has a point there, you know, like why is he not why is he has a camera and he has a car. So I'm like, you know, so he's like telling the cops, well, I'm protecting my constitutional rights. You know, if somebody is doing something suspicious, like altering the flag, I want to know why. You know, blah blah blah. I want to document it. I'm on live and stuff. I got some viewers, blah blah blah. So he's saying all that stuff, right? But the thing is, the cop is still right though. Like, why aren't you? You're not on the sidewalk. You're legit in front of his fucking house. Yo, you're acting. He was basically saying you're acting like a stalker right now, bro. Because you're like, you're standing in front of the house, bro. You're recording everybody that's in front of the house. So you kind of look like a stalker, right? And he's like, I'm not harassing him. You know, he's not. He didn't use the word stalker, and that cop was pretty good because he didn't say shit the whole time, right? One of them was getting insulted, but he was trying to keep his cool, right? But the other one knew the guy, and he was talking to him and everything, and they wasn't saying nothing, right? So this guy was legit incriminating himself at the same time. So this is just like one incident. But the thing is, you have to understand, I don't know what that flag means. I have no idea what the flag means. I'm just watching the video. I'm like, okay, you know, they both have a point, you know, but I really need to understand what's going on. I really need to know what the flag means. So I go check out what the heck is a black and white with a blue flag in the middle. So apparently, Black Lives Matter finds it disrespectful, right? And because it's the black flag is for the Black Lives Matter movement. So they find it disrespectful. I don't see where the disrespect is in it. You know, it's just a blue stripe. You know, to me, it could mean like, I mean, it doesn't have to, I mean, it could be disrespectful, but they still have a point. You know, it could mean like blue lives matter too, you know, like cops' lives matter too and stuff, right? So they put that on there on top of the Black Lives Matter and make their own flag, you know. But that to me seems kind of respectful, because they could have used another color and put like a blue. They could have used a red flag and put a blue line in the middle, right? That just saying it sounds like super fascist right there. No puns intended, but just, you know, like some Confederate army shit, right? Like some old school Confederate shit, right? That just sounds, you know, but it's the black flag. So that means those people that made that flag took under consideration that Black Lives Matter, but there's also cops in the middle that matter too. But Black Lives Matter turned it into a racial thing, right? They didn't see the effort behind it, and there's a clear psychological connotation there, man. There's a clear psychological connotation there because they didn't change the color of the black flag. They used the black flag and they only put one line in the middle, you know, suggesting that between, you know, everybody, between, you know, cops and robbers, between black and white, between Black Lives Matter and anti, you know, maybe nationalists or whatever, right? You know, socialist and everything, right? There's the line where, you know, we're the ones that's between all of you guys, right? So to me, the black and blue flag didn't mean it was racist. To me, it didn't mean it was racist. So it was kind of normal. So what I'm trying to get at here is how sometimes these guys, they entice things, you know, because like I said, I saw it on a guy that was exposing, you know, wrong behavior from police officers, right? But that video came up, and you can't stand in a trespass recording the mayor's house. Like, you can't do that to anybody, period. So nevertheless, the mayor's house, and he's the mayor. I mean, like, if there's a movement like that going on, he has the right to be part of the movement. I mean, if he respects Black Lives Matter, if he respects cops, and he wants to bring cops and, you know, supposedly cops and allegedly, all right. I put my air quotes up because I don't want to say, you know, prejudice does exist, all right. I'm not delusional, but there's a little bit of an effort there, you know. There's a little bit of an effort there because, like I said, they could have changed those colors like they wanted, and that's what that flag means. And actually after, you know, checking out a little bit more about that, that same flag was used in the 1920s to represent the same thing in the middle of um, the civil rights movement, the Civil War era. Sorry. So it's not the first time that the black and the blue line, you know, civil rights, yeah, civil rights movement, the black and the blue line was used, right? And it meant the same thing. It was for the good cops that weren't openly racist, you know, you know, you know, to use to, you know, so it did, that did happen, you know. So it was kind of like, so now they just brought back the flag just to, you know, just to try to quell the thunder between, you know, Black Lives Matter and police officers. So it just goes to show you how these guys stalk people to start trouble, and, you know, all kinds of nonsense, man. So it was an experience for me to see that, because like I told you before, I'm watching this from a standpoint of complete ignorance. Like, I didn't know what the black and blue flag was. I was like, what the heck is this, man? But both guys had a point. You know, it's only after, you know, I checked out the thing, I was like, yo, this guy was just, you know, he was just chasing clout. You know, he was harassing him. He was harassing the mayor. He was straight up harassing him, bro. And even if, you know, even if he was right, that was like an illegal altering of the flag, right? Just stay in your car, man, and record. You don't have to like stand in the middle of the 4-lane street and record them. That's fucking scary shit. I would legit do the fucking, I would do the same fucking thing. Like, I would do the same thing, bro. Like, if I see a guy standing in the middle of the street recording me, I would probably call the cops too, bro, or go outside with a baseball bat or a crowbar and shit, and, you know, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you recording here, bro? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is this, right? So, you know, it's kind of, it was weird. It was suspect shit. It was suspect activity. And like I said before, you could have just stayed in your car and record. Me, that's what I would do. You know, if I was like trying to document like people, you know, altering the state of the country, and I wanted to document, you know, I would stay in my car and try to record as much as I can, you know, without necessarily getting caught, right? Because you can stay in your car and record the person, and it's not necessarily a crime, you know. It's not necessarily a crime until it becomes harassment, right? So that's what I would do, you know. So anyway, it was weird. I think it was a good video. It's worth a mention. I think it was worth a mention. You know, I think it was worth to mention because it was weird stuff, and it's just like, to me, it just reminded me of how much these guys love to stalk people and make up stories about things just because, you know, just because they feel like it. You know, it's pretty much out there stuff. It's pretty much out there stuff. So like I said before, but if you don't want to check that video, you should check that video, but you should definitely check Avoid the Noid, because I'm pretty sure that, you know, Avoid the Noid is definitely something that you can relate to. Of course, if you're Illuminati, you can't really relate to that because that probably never happened to you. But there's a lot of people, even people that don't believe in these kind of conspiracy theories because they seem too far-fetched to be actually like doable. But I'm telling you, it's not. These people should watch Avoid the Noid, because, you know, Wallace Noid is not the only victim of this kind of identity theft. Like I said today, one of my videos today was about how they're reaching down in the vortex of your soul and removing all that money. They're not doing it physically. You know, it's not like, you know, they got like cloaking devices, and they just reach down your stomach, with some kind of thing or something, and they can pull out things from you. So that's not how, but they do this specific, they do a specific kind of thing where, they know who you are, they know what your blood type is, they know what your DNA is. They have your blood type because they have your blood type. They have your blood type, bro. So it's not magic. They have your blood type. If you have one, all you need to know somebody's DNA is one drop of blood. One drop. You don't need to chop somebody's arm off. You don't need to chop their legs off. All you need is one drop. And you can know everything the person is good at and everything the person is not good at. All they have to do starting from there is actually keep an eye on you, check out your behavior and all that stuff, right? And the information, once you get all that data information, you can then start doing experiments and recreate those kind of behavior in other people, and then use statistics to check out if this is marketable. Can I make something with this? Can I make super soldiers with this? Can I make super talented people out of this? Can I make other people intelligent? Can I make can I have a super intelligent dog or something? What can I do with this? But in order to do that, you have to do experiences. You got to do experiments, right? And with the statistics gathered from each experiment, depending on the DNA type and the evolution of the person's personality, right? The weaknesses and the strengths of that person, you can then use that as a marketable product. So DNA is basically the stock market, man. DNA is basically the stock market, bro. Basically. So that's why, identity theft should be taken seriously. And there's more than one way of doing this. There's more than one way of doing this. But I'm telling you, this government, that's what they're doing. They know who you are. They know who you are. There are archetypes. In psychology, you learn about archetype of people. The lion, the eagle, the tiger, the shark, a blue, if you're blue, if you're red, all those are archetypes. All those are statistic based diagnoses from multiple thousands of years of studying psychology. Archimedes, Plato, all this information was existing before Christ. All this information that I'm talking about existed before Christ, before Jesus was a person. So to think today, with the evolution of technology and what we know about psychology and stuff like that, and to think today that we have no clue. So that's the thing. That's the magic trick. Here's Christianity. Go believe in this. But the thing is, in one room, there's a bunch of Christians, right? There's a bunch of religious people, not just Christians. There's a bunch of religious people, right? So they're all sitting there being religious AF, right? But then in the other room is all the psychologists, all the scientists, and they're just sitting there writing, studying, researching, understanding things, doing experiments, and all kinds of things, right? And that was before. So that room, it was there before the religious guys came in. The religious guys was like talking to the scientists and all that, but the scientists couldn't understand the religious guys, more or less. Or they just didn't feel like understanding the religious guys. So they just said, you know what, here's a room. You do your thing over here. I'm going to go do my thing over here. Right? So now you're talking about like 5,000, over 10,000 years of studying the human mind. 10,000 years of knowledge on the human mind. 10,000 years. So Jesus never stood a chance. Jesus never stood a chance, bro. There was no way. There's no way. He never stood a chance. Because we know too much. But not everybody knows that we know too much. Only a selected people, only the initiated knows what we know. And you know who else knows what we know? You know who. I don't need to say. And by the way, if I say the word initiated, which I said it on purpose, but if I say the word initiated, that does not mean you're part of a lodge. When you practice any form of witchcraft and you have any form of journeyman skill, any form of skill, if you start having skill in it, right, that means you're initiated. According to sorcerers and witches and people, mystics, right? So when you become a mystic, it's as if you're initiated. And the initiation is when you start seeing things from, or receiving things from the other realm, right? So when you start living in the third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, 7, 8, whatever, when you, as soon as you start doing that, that means you're initiated. You're not normal. You're not a neophyte anymore. You're not a profane anymore. You can see. Once you see, that means you're initiated, and then you go towards being master and sage, you know, things of that matter. Well, actually, it's sage before master, or is it the contrary? Whatever. I don't remember. But I do know you can use the term. It's a regular term that you can use. It's a common word that you can use. You don't have to be part of a masonry to say the word initiated. Initiated just mean that you are capable of seeing through the veil. So you're not a noob anymore. You're not a amateur anymore, right? So instead of saying professional, you just say initiated. So anyway, so we have 10,000 years of knowledge over the brain, over the inner workings of the brains and all that stuff, right? And unfortunately, even though Plato was kind of a good guy, kind of, you know, Archimedes, you know, and who else? What's his name? Not Socrates. What's the other guy name? The guy that does a bunch of math. I forgot his name. Anyway, one of those Greek dudes, right? You know, one of those Greek dudes, bro. Like, there's a lot of Greek dudes that was very, very intelligent, very bright, and they all studied philosophy, justice. They studied justice too. Like, advocacy is more of a art than it looks like, right? It's a very mind screwy game that you're playing when you're a lawyer, right? So all these things was practiced, so we know who people are. We know who people are. This is the reason why people know each other, because we studied each other for over 1,000 years. We know more about each other than we know about anything else. Period. So when you have like technology like today that lets you do things 10 times faster than you used to do before, having all that knowledge can be dangerous, and it could be used to do harm, like identity theft, right? I mean, identity theft, of course, these guys, they're doing it to me right now. You know, they're doing it to me right now. This is identity theft, dude. And everybody, inspires each other. That's not the problem. The problem is you're not inspired by me. There's some people that are inspired by me. I obviously see it. Transgenius, Enoch Freestyle, these guys are inspired, but they're not trying to kill me. So there's a clear difference, man. There's a clear freaking difference here, bro. They're not trying to kill me, dude. Like, like they're inspired by it. They're not asking the Illuminati to anyway do whatever the F that these people would like the Illuminati to do. So there's a massive difference. Massive difference. So yeah, if you are not inspired, but instead you want to replace me, then that's identity theft. You're stealing my identity. This is a legit crime. And we've been doing this. We built this country on that. Because, mind you, I'm not stupid. I know that some humans just like to be who they are, and they're not trying to be multi-billionaires. Of course, I know that. But they also know that. And since they know that, they're like, well, this guy, he's not going to use his talent, so screw it. Let's just steal it. Why bother asking? And the thing is, it's not that it's necessarily easier to do, but it's safer. You don't have to deal with, because the thing is, if they'd ask you to do something for them, you kind of own them. You're in the position of power. But if you go as, if somebody else comes to you and asks you to do something, it's you that's in the position of power, the guy that's being asked to do it, right? So they're not going to give up their power. So if they come and see you, the original one, you're going to know that the only reason why all of this is here is because of you. So you're going to start making demands. You're going to start being difficult. You're not going to be malleable. You're not going to do whatever people ask you to do. You're going to have an overinflated sense of grandeur and ego, which is not a bad thing, dependently. There's some people that can handle their egos. It's not necessarily a bad thing. The problem is that they can't control your ego. That's what the problem is. But when you create this massive engine like we have today, this global industry, everything seems big, massive skyscrapers, You know, everything is big, bro. Big stores, big cars, big, 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 big. Everything is big. You don't feel, you feel like you're in the middle of outer space. You feel like you're a minuscule speck in the middle of outer space. And it couldn't be farther from the truth. You're not really a minuscule speck in the middle of outer space, dude. You know, it just looks like that, but it doesn't mean anything. You would think that it means something. You would think so, and you would be completely right to think that it makes total sense. You're not crazy. But it's just not how things work. And I'm explaining to you why it doesn't work like that. Because you didn't build it. They built it off of your name. But you didn't build it for your own self. You didn't build it for someone else. You didn't build it because you felt like it. They built something. They built America off of your name. People are like, you know, it wasn't just the slaves, because the slave trades, which is a real thing. I'm not saying it wasn't. But the slave trades was just a way to build the get the actual material and get the actual, you know, build the actual offices and well, whatever, right? Build the houses, take care of the corn and the sugar and everything. But don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you read. There's a lot of slaves, even though they were malcontent and mistreated, there was a lot of slaves that were sold into slavery. They didn't have a choice. And they used to experiment on them too. All them torture devices. You really think those things was just for torture? Those things are meant to measure. They were measuring tools. Those things were not just there for fun, dude. So they were experimenting on people. Of course, you know, slave, you know, they're in the thing. Yeah, but there was some science involved in it. There was a lot of science involved in it. Some of the slaves didn't even come from America. From Africa. A lot of slaves did not come from Africa. A lot of slaves were born and bred to be slaves. They legit have no personality. They have no personality. They have no nothing. They don't know who they are. They were created specifically to work on the farm or as a, I don't know, a butcher or a shoemaker or a receptionist, a bellboy, a bus boy, a cook. Genetically bred. Genetically bred. Of course, you have descendant, you have a starting point. But everything we know about science, about the mental state, the only reason why slaves actually were slaves is because of number one, genetic manipulation, number two, psychology. Them crazy white boys that used to live back in the days, they knew they weren't just torturing them, they were brainwashing them. They were being brainwashed. And not only they being brainwashed, so that makes the perfect slaves, bro. Like that makes the perfect slaves, man. Like these motherfuckers would never lay one finger on these people. Ever. Maybe the original ones would. And the original ones had a lot of trouble doing that. Because the original ones was talking to the genetically created ones, right? The clones. They were talking to the clones, and it was like, "Yo, you can't let motherfuckers treat you like this. We gotta go, man. We gotta make a plan to leave here." And these mother effers was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, sir. This is my home. This is my house. I can't, this is, I don't know. I don't know anything else but here." Identity theft. Anyway, think about that for 2 seconds. This video is too damn long. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.